Dear diary, I just took a shower. Whew. An overdue shower. Good bachelor living. No. I do have 6 shirts at home just like that one. Yes, with the same stain, same place. There are no curtains in my house. People say, why don't you have any curtains? And I say to them, because this is a house of light. It is not a house of darkness. When people come here, they say, it's so peaceful. And I say, yes, that's because God Almighty is Lord here. I've named the place, or maybe he has, and tricked me into thinking I named it. You know, he's clever, thief in the night, remember? And these are love tricks. You can play love tricks on each other because they're love tricks. They're not mean-spirited. Yeah, that probably was his idea. Serenity Hill. How stupid is that? Listen to just the stupidness of that. Serenity Hill. Ugh. One person called it, he's like, man, it's like a Koa campground. That person obviously liked to camp, I would think. I would hope. I mean, if you didn't like to camp, and you knew it was like a Koa campground, I'd be kind of worried about you. I'd be like, how do you know about Koa? Okay, back on point. I know. This is free association gangaroo. Try to keep up. I should just put that in front of every vignette now. I think I've touched on this before. Okay, so just always know that I say that. I think I've touched on this before. Yeah, the Sweet Pea. She was in this Plant of the Month club. She used to have this really high stress job. If you're in healthcare, I love you. I'll give you my seat on the bus. I'll whatever you need. If you work in healthcare. Yes, okay, moving on. Yep, no curtains. This is a house of light. That's how I keep myself, because you know my crib notes are real few, right? And I'm usually stoned when I'm talking to you because it allows my right hemisphere to command. There's a trade-off with that, though, short term. Oh, lethargy. But I need lethargy. High blood pressure. There you go. You know, it's a tightrope. It really is. Somebody cue up the Stevie Ray Vaughan. Walking the tightrope. They say in AA, it's not how much you drink, it's how it affects you. Which gets back to check your motives, check your motives, check your motives. On more than one occasion, I said, no, you're not taking that Xanax. Or you don't want to take your evening blood pressure medicine, but you want to take the Xanax. No. Then you're going to take the evening blood pressure medicine along with the Xanax, and you'll be out by 6:30, 7 o'clock on the couch. Choose, asshole. It's called to thine own self be true. AA will really screw up your ability to Jones yourself. And I say that lovingly, because all it's done is allowed me to convict myself constantly. Well, I am a bit of a masochist. Yes, I am. Yep, no curtains. So she's in this. See, I have to go off those. Yeah, I got to go off those pivot points, see? So she's in this Plant of the Month club. The orthopedic surgeons think so much of my darling bride, the office manager for this orthopedic firm. Whew, man, that's stress. But I think I just touched on that whole industry. Oh, my goodness. So they buy this Plant of the Month club. And, I'm at home already. I quit my government job. I'm working in the back, living in that room back there, building my business. Me. And so, I'm diligently being the good husband. I would hear the ups man coming, and I would make sure I got my Heineken out there, grab that box, come in and unpeel it and display, and make sure it fluffied up on the dining room table for when the Sweet Pea got home from work. Well, 1 month, plant came. And the moment okay, so I'm done now dipping. Okay, I won't be spitting anymore. Just hang on, okay? You made it through. And 1 month this plant came. Shit, did I go through all my Red Bulls? Oh man, there's one left. I gotta go back to drinking Monsters. Okay, it's okay. It's almost medicine time. And the very moment I got near that box, I started to dislike it. And I unboxed that plant, and I put it on the dining room table. It was pretty, and I was certain I didn't like it. And I didn't know why. So, a few days go by, and I'm smelling it in the house. And I remember coming out, I can't remember if she was there, if the wife was there in the house or not at the time, when I made the Eureka. I made the association. But I remember no, she was at work, and I was probably in here working during the day. I remember coming out at the dining room table, looking at this plant, saying, you know what? You remind me of death. And I picked that plant up. I don't know if it was the middle of winter or whatever. I don't give a language. Somebody's out there praying for me because I've noticed my language is cleaned up. And it's probably the pastor. I'll bet it's him. I've noticed it. Well, I come out and look at this plant and say, I don't like you. You are death. This is a house of light. And I took that plant, I put it out on the front porch. The plant's called jasmine. It's often found in funeral parlors. Not in my house. Sorry, God. I took the reins on that one. Not in my house. Not in my house. No more death in my house. Whether it be inside of my temple or outside of it, in my proximity, no more death. I've had my fill of death. I remember he came into my cubicle. Good friend. Decent man. Human beings are such wonderful things. Sweet, sensitive man. Yeah, we were pissing away your government tax dollars. We had this vicious game we'd play where, and of course, here I am, the GED guy, okay? Yes, I'm good I'm with language. Okay, fine. But I'm going up against a couple of guys. One of them is Dougie, and the other one is an editor on the side, okay? Ish. So we had this wicked game we would play where, you flip a coin, that person has to offer a letter of the Latin alphabet, and then the other person has to provide a letter after. And the idea of the game is to box the other one into a word where you get to speak the last letter. Yeah, I know, on your tax dollars. Decent man, George. Decent man. And he knew I professed a belief in a higher power, a God of my understanding. And so sometimes, that morbid curiosity that the world has. You are good. You put that word right in my brain. I love you. I love you. I mean that. I'm serious. I love you. You put that right in my... Okay. And they come to you with this morbid curiosity about God Daddy. Let me not lose that because this is going to go right together. Oh, it's like poetry in motion. Look at me go. And so occasionally George would broach. I don't like that term. It's a piece of jewelry, damn it. Occasionally George would open the door. He'd pry the door open a little bit or whatever I'm trying to say. And so one day I found myself discussing the Ten Commandments with him. I know, I try to emulate you, but I'm not very good at it. Yeah, Johnny, Jack in the Box. And so, I think I got this off, I think, Anagraph. I think I was listening to one. I always found him to be a decent televangelist. I actually contributed to his church for a short while because my soul never cried out foul listening to him. So there's that. So and he says, I haven't broken that one. I haven't broken that one. I haven't broken that one. Well, I haven't broken that one. I haven't broken that one. I said, well, have you ever taken the Lord's name in vain? And he's like, well, yeah. I said, well, congratulations. You're guilty. You have not kept the Ten Commandments. You have not kept any of them. And he goes, what are you talking about? I said, George, if you've broken one, you've broken them all. Hence, perfection, imperfection. God, this is triggering so many things in my mind now. And I lost it, God. Can you bring it back? I got the pen in hand. Bring it back. So he walked out of my cubicle, head hung low. He did. His countenance was fallen because I had been imparting to him. Thank you. I was going to land there anyway. You didn't really help me. I boxed myself. Okay, I had to go there. What was it? No, don't take it away from me. Okay, broken one, you've broken them all. Okay, I'm sorry. Bring it back again. Okay, if you've broken one, you've broken them all. Perfection, imperfection. He walked away hurt. Doggone it, nap doodle. That's what I get for being smug. All right, I'll move along. Can you bring it back later, please? Yeah, I love George. Good man. And he, with the morbid curiosity, if you will, did I not compliment on that word? Bring back the other thought I had. It was good. God, they should have in the state of Maryland, the sheriff and a couple of shrinks at my door by the end of this vignette. George would be the same type of person to ask the question, can God create a boulder so large that he himself cannot move it? Yeah. Sure, I would put George in that box. He would be prone to ask that kind of question. Again, the tempting. Okay? That's tempting. They're tempting. And it's not out of love. And I'll say to him, or I will say to you now, if you were to ask me that question, can God make let's make sure we document this. Can God make a boulder so large that he himself cannot move it? I would answer your question with this question. Can you create a meal for yourself so large that you cannot finish it in a single setting? You see, it's kind of like Chris Tucker. I love me some Chris. Love me some Chris Tucker. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Jackie Chan's like grinning ear to ear. Golly gee willikers, Chris Tucker's good. Are you listening to the words that you are regurgitating from the world that you thought were clever that are coming out of your mouth? What is that? Again, I say, can you create a meal so big for yourself that you yourself cannot finish it in a single setting? Yeah, of course you can. Shut off. Go away. You tempt him. I got it right the last. I almost said me, but it was kind of hard because we're so close. We're hand in hand. You tempt him with questions like, why do you even do that? It's so inane. It's so childish. You can be childish, remember, but your deus better be love. It better not be fear or pride. It could be fear. Yeah, it could be, no, it could be fear. And fear's okay, right? Is it okay to come to you in fear? I think it's okay with God Daddy if you came to him in fear. I think. Don't quote me on that. But certainly not in pride. Standing tall on your feet like so many of you do. And the others have been duped into believing they can never be good enough. Oh, it's divide and conquer. It's beautiful. Have I mentioned that I hate Satan? And it's personal for me now. Much to my chagrin, much to my own hand, I brought this upon myself. So when I say to you that God is real and so is Satan, you can believe me or not. Or you can go listen to some of my other stories. The bear. Go listen to the bear. That's where the transformation occurred. That's where I became more than a man and less than a man. I think that's enough.